Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Raindrops on Roses by Matt Tressel. So we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, so in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have Renban Raindrops. Digits between and including the raindrop and the rows in each column form a set of non-repeating consecutive digits in any order. So normally these would just be purple lines, but today they are raindrops on roses. So we just take these, for example, these three cells. Think about a consecutive set of digits like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. And that has to, the digits on here have to form a consecutive sequence, but they can be in any order. So let's say we pick 3, 4, 5. We could do 3, 4, 5 like that. Ignore this 4 here. So when you take the digits that are on the Renban and you sort them, you will then see that they form a fully consecutive set. So what I can't do is like 2, 4, 5, because 2, 4, 5 is not a consecutive run. All right. And we also have each raindrop contains a different digit. So we have 6 raindrops here. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 6 raindrops here. So we're going to be using up all 6 digits within the raindrops. It's like a row or column or box. And each rose contains a different digit. So we have 6 roses, and each of these roses is also another region, essentially, 1 through 6 once each. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. Okay, I'm wondering, this Renban is 1 through 6, which is pretty amusing. It does give us the raindrop and the rose, which is nice, but otherwise it's fairly cosmetic. These two are just consecutive. Excluding 4 from here is interesting because our options are 1, 2, 3. Let me just write it out. We can do 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5, 6. Notice that only one of these doesn't use the 4, right? Once the 4 is gone, so are the 5 and the 6. Because you can't make 3 consecutive digits with 5, 6 without using the 4. So we're down to just 1, 2, 3. This just doesn't use the 4. We know that a Renban of size 4 must use the 3 and the 4. Why do I know that? Well, there's a few ways you can think about it. You can do the same thing I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice that 3, 4 is always present. Another way you can do that is to think about what isn't on the Renban. They're the 2 digits up here, basically. What are these 2 digits? Well, if I start with 1 through 6, let me just do that up here. If I start with 1 through 6, I can't just remove the 3 and still be consecutive, right? I want to be able to remove 2 digits from here and remain consecutive as I remove those digits so that the final result is still consecutive. So the only thing I can remove are the 1 or the 6. And then once I remove the 1, let's say I choose to remove the 1, now I can only remove the 2 or the 6, right? So if I remove my 3 options are, if I remove the 1, then I can also remove the 2, or if I remove the 1, I can also remove the 6. The only other option is to remove the 6 without removing the 1, and then I'd remove the 5. And so only 1, 2, 5, and 6 can be outside of this Renban. It has to contain 3 and 4. We can write 1, 2, 5, 6 up here. This isn't a 2. Doesn't really do much. All right. So I'm going to need a 3 in this box. And this 1, 2, 3 triple says that's not a 3. In fact, this is just 5, 6. And so 3 actually ends up on this Renban. And it can't be with 4, so it has to be 2, 3 pair. That's 3, that's 2. And that means that's not a 2. So this does contain a 2 then. Just because Sudoku. This is either missing 1, 6 or 5, 6. So it is always also missing a 6, which is quite handy. Right. We can't be missing 1 and 5 because that forces 6 on here without a 5. That wasn't one of the options for removal. So it does contain a 6, meaning this can't be a 6, meaning that's 5 and that's 6. All right. And that makes this a 1, 6 pair. And so now we know this is 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Excuse my sneezing and stuff. Let's see. We need 1, 5, 6 here. We know that there's a 5 in one of these two. And that means none of the other raindrops can have a 5 because we know it's in one of these 2 raindrops. So this can't be a 5. We have a 2 on a rose, so that can't be a 2. Let's keep track of all that. I do wonder if there's geometry with the roses and raindrops, but so far the Renbans have been doing pretty well on their own. This ren band of length 4 can't have a 2 on it, and so that means it can't have a 1 on it. And so we know that the 1 ends up down here. And so this is 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a 5. Roses can't have 2s on them, but that's all we know there. All right. And then this is a 3-cell ren band without a 2 on it, which means it can't have a 1 on it. So that is definitely not a 1. So 5 or 6. So if this was 6, we'd have to go 6, 5, 4. And if we look, this can't be 5. So we'd go 6, 5, 4. If this was a 5, we could go 5. We could still be 4, 5, 6. With a 5 here, this 4, 6 pair could go either way, as far as I can tell. And if it was a 5, we could also do 3, 4, 5. And so either of these could be a 3. All right. What restriction on rose is just not a 2. Restriction on raindrop is not a 5. Okay. This is just 3, 4, 5 for the row. I may have to do geometry on the raindrops or the roses. We'll see. We do know where 2 in this box goes in one of these two, I guess. Not super helpful. 1, 6 pair, 3. Where's 2 in this box? This 2 looks down, this 2 looks in, and the rose can't be a 2 because we already have a 2 on a rose. So the 2 goes here. So those aren't 2. I have nothing against doing geometry on the roses or raindrops. I just haven't had to yet because I've had something to do. The 1 is in one of these two in this box. What it's worth. See, the 3 looks down. 3 is in one of these two. So, okay, so we know that the 3 on the rose is either here or here. So none of the other roses can be 3. So we can remove that. So this is a 4, 5, 6 triple on the roses. Right, where's 1 on the roses? It goes here. Now where's 3 on the roses? It goes here. Nice. All right, that's 4 and that's 5. These are not 1s. That's not 4 and 5. That's not 4. So we have the 4s in one of these two on the rows because we need a 4 on the rows. This is 4, 5, and then this is 1, 6. All right, this is actually roped. 1, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 4, 5, 6. So, what was I going to say? We know that there's a 6 on the roses, and it's either in this rose or this rose. Whichever rose gets the 6, because there must be 1 through 6 on the roses, so that we need a 6. Whichever one is a 6 will eliminate 6 from these 2 cells, as well as this one. This will eliminate through the box, this would eliminate through the column. So these can't be a 6. And this can't be a 6, for what it's worth. It's not 1, 2. So it's from 3, 4, 5 only. Okay. I should look at the raindrops a bit more closely. I got a 4 on a raindrop, so that's not a 4. None of these can be 2. Where are my raindrops? I have 3 and 4 already. Oh, I have a 3 already, so that's our 6. Okay, well, that's helpful. That's 5, 1, and that's 2. All right, finish the raindrops. 6 and 1. That's not a 6. That's our 2. Oops. That's our 2. That's our 3. Down here, this is 4. So giving us 5 and 4 and 6. We get the 3. We get the 1 and 6, 4 and 5. That's 3. That's 4. This is a 1. This is a 5. Here we get a 3. And here we get a 6. And we're done. All right. Cool puzzle, Matt. I enjoyed that. Nice little Ren band puzzle there with the extra regions doing some work. There was probably something we could have done with geometry, in the fact that the raindrops don't repeat, but I ended up not really needing to do that. Like one thing we could do, for example, is say, just as an example of what I'm talking about, if we don't know what digit this is yet, we can call it green. And in this box here, we know it doesn't repeat on the raindrops and it doesn't repeat in the column. So green goes in one of these two. And you can see that the 3 does end up here. That's true. So things like that can be helpful, but I ended up not needing to do that. There was always something else to look at. All right, cool. Well, let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.